Welcome to episode 80 of EDH Commander Challenge. I'm your host, BT. In this week's episode, we have a Simic versus Rakdos matchup featuring the two generals my playgroup has wanted to see in action since the release of Ravnica Allegiance. But before we get to the episode, just two things to mention real quick. First, please continue to let us know in the comments if you want to see a plane chase or a regular matchup in our upcoming 900 subscriber special. And secondly, a quick shout out to, and I hope I'm pronouncing this right, Shinran12T for sending us a really beautiful playmat that I'll let you guys see at the end of the video. Features one of my favorite characters from the Fate universe. Well, I'm talking about the anime Fate Stay Night anyways, but you guys will know if you ever heard the character Attila or Altera towards the end. Now, without any further ado, let's introduce those opening hands. I'm playing my Simic Prime Speaker Vannifar deck, and keep an opening hand with Kadama's Reach, Vidalcan Shackles, Acidic Slime, Coiling Oracle, and 3 Forests. Jimmy is playing his Rakdos Judith the Scourge Diva deck and keeps an opening hand with 2 Swamps, a Mountain, Skull Clamp, Reassembling Skeleton, Pawn of Ulamog, and Tuk Tuk the Explorer. I won the dice roll off camera to begin the game, so I'll be starting us off. Let's go! I play a forest and pass. Jimmy plays a mountain and casts Skull Clamp and passes. I play a forest and pass. Jimmy plays a swamp and casts Reassembling Skeleton and passes. I play another forest and cast Kadama's Reach to search out some islands and pass. Jimmy plays a swamp and casts his general Judith the Scourge Diva. Then he moves into combat and attacks me with his skeleton for 2 damage before passing the turn. For my turn, I play an island and cast Acidic Slime, destroying Jimmy's mountain before passing the turn. Jimmy clamps his skeleton to draw 2 cards as it dies. His Judith triggers and shoots me for 1 damage. Then he replaces his mountain that he just lost and passes. For my turn, I cast Vidalcan Shackles and use it immediately to gain control of Judith, while I paid the mana but forgot to tap the artifact in my excitement. My bad, guys. Jimmy responds by returning his skeleton back into play tapped. I then move into combat and attack Jimmy with my slime for 3 damage. Then I pass. Jimmy wastes no time in getting his general back to his side of the field by casting Bedevil, destroying my shackles. Then he moves into combat and attacks me with his skeleton again for 2. Then he passes. For my turn, I cast Coiling Oracle, revealing Memorial to Unity from the top of my deck, which then comes into play tapped. Then I cast Baral, Chief of Compliance. Then I move into combat and attack Jimmy with my slime. He declares no blocks and takes 2 damage. Then I pass. Jimmy plays a mountain and casts Pawn of Ulamog. He then clamps his skeleton, which dies, letting him draw 2 cards, gaining a 0/1 Eldrazi spawn. He then uses his Judith trigger to shoot and kill my Coiling Oracle. Then he passes, discarding his hand down to 7 cards. For my turn, I cast my General, Prime Speaker Vannifar, and pass. Jimmy plays a command tower and casts Tuk Tuk the Explorer, followed by Lightning Greaves. I respond to the Greaves, however, by casting Remand. This counters the Lightning Greaves and bounces it back to his hand. This in turn triggers my Baral, allowing me to loot. Then, Jimmy passes. For my turn, I use Vannifar to sack my 5 casting cost Acidic Slime to grab the 6 casting cost Steel Hellkite. I then pay 5 mana, including 2 life as well, to cast both Cultivate, as it costs 1 less thanks to Baral, and Birthing Pod, followed by paying 1 mana and 2 more life to sack Baral and grab my 3 casting cost Eternal Witness. This in total allows me to net some basic lands and get back my shackles from the graveyard. Then I pass. Jimmy starts his turn by clamping his Tuk Tuk, which dies, allowing him to draw 2 cards. It also allows him to gain a 5/5 token, another 0/1 Eldrazi, and shoots me for 1 with his Judith trigger. Then he plays a Blood Crypt untapped, taking 2 damage. Then he sacrifices both of his Eldrazi spawns for 2 colorless mana and pays 5 mana for a total of 7 to cast Butcher of Malakir. Then he passes. For my turn, I cast Royal Elemental. Then I play an island and use my Royal's trigger to gain control of Jimmy's Butcher of Malakir. I then sacrifice the Butcher to my Birthing Pod by paying 2 life and 1 mana, which in turn forces Jimmy to sacrifice a creature thanks to Butcher's effect. In this case, he sacrifices his Pawn of Ulamog, which gives him a 0/1 Eldrazi token, and he shoots me again for 1 with his General Judith's trigger. In sacrificing the 7 casting cost Butcher, I get to search out the 8 casting cost Terastodon, which allows me to destroy Jimmy's Skull Clamp, Blood Crypt, and Command Tower, while Jimmy gains 3 Elephant tokens. Then, I use Vannifar to sacrifice my 3 casting cost Witness to get the 4 casting cost Sakashima the Imposter, making it a copy of Terastodon. However, knowing what's coming next, Jimmy decides to scoop it up, advising me that if I hadn't done that, he was going to use Toxic Deluge on his next turn. For this week's cardboard MVP, Jimmy's pretty much has to be Skull Clamp, which was especially great as he had reusable creatures, which allowed him to get extra draw, while being able to use his Judith triggers to be able to shoot either smaller creatures or just players for damage. For myself, I guess I'd have to say it's Royal Elemental, as it was able to remove Jimmy's greatest threat, while also combining it with my Birthing Pod, I was able to grab one of my 2 best creatures in the deck to be able to close out the game. Do you agree with our picks? Let us know in the comments down below. And the countdown to 1,000 subs is on, guys. As of the recording of this video, we are less than 70 subs away from the goal. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed this week's episode. If you're a fan of EDH gameplay and you like whether it be 1v1 or multiplayer and you want to be part of the ever-growing Command Your Challenge family, just make sure you smash the subscribe button and notification bell down below. We do weekly videos. Don't forget as well to like, comment, share our videos, but most importantly, enjoy them. On behalf of all of our members here, I'm your host, BT. Feel free to check out all of the videos in the channel, join our game, it's now your turn. Cheers!